Okay, what up next? Again, we're going to bring up Johnny English, Retired Fighters Fund, and what we're going to do for the update on the gifts for today. Mr. English.
I had a nice PowerPoint all done up for everybody just to show everything we've done over the years, but I'm an Eagle Scout, and we're prepared, so you get my lovely off-the-cuff speech. What we've done this year is we've obviously tried to continue to grow the fund. Many of you that were here last year at the convention know that we gave out $5,000 to Daniel Franco, who was a boxer. He actually spoke at last year's convention. Incredible story. Young man who was competing and had a really bad injury, and it was a permanent injury to his brain. So we gave him money, and we were also trying to reach out to Tim Haig's family to give him money, and we were going to gift $5,000 to his son for future education. Unfortunately, the family, they really weren't cooperating with us, and we made the decision that it wasn't the best idea just to give someone that kind of money if it wasn't going to go in an account specifically for what we voted for. So what we ended up doing instead is we partnered up with the Rondell Clark Foundation. Rondell Clark was an amateur MMA fighter in Massachusetts, competed in his second fight, and unfortunately passed away that night due to an extreme weight cut. And so his family opened up a foundation for him in his name, and Mike was able to meet with them and gift them $5,000 to them. So we did that this year. We have a Iowa boxer that allowed us to use his name, a gentleman by the name of John Roby, who fought professionally for a long time. One of the quotes John's friend said is, the years of the head trauma, starting to see signs of CTE in John, which is making it difficult for him to sustain work on a constant basis. And we were able to help him out with a car repair to help him with his physical therapy and the work that he's trying to do to support himself. We gave two legendary boxers, Rocky Lockridge and many of you know Pernell Whitaker. Their families had a very difficult time with the funeral expenses for these individuals, and we were able to help out in covering funeral costs for both those boxers, which was a huge blessing to that family. And then finally, we had a very high-profile MMA fighter, legend in the sport, wish to remain anonymous, and we always try to make sure that we are compliant with that. If they don't want to give out their name out, we don't push that at all. But we gifted him $5,000 to help him with his rent. Signs of CTE and TBI are definitely there. His health issues are getting bad enough that he's having a hard time working. And so we were able to help him this year as well. So overall, it's been a great year. If you get an opportunity, go to either abcboxing.com or you can go to retiredfighterfund.com. The retiredfighterfund.com link will bring you right to our page where last year we set up donations. You can PayPal, people can go right to that website and they can give. We made it easier, one, for people to give, but also for athletes to do applications. The application is now online. A fighter can go there as a commissioner. If you think of someone that you work with or have worked with and they need help, you can direct them right to that site. They fill out the online application. It goes right to Steve Weisfeld, who's on the committee. He makes sure all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. He then sends it to the rest of us on the committee, which is made up of myself, Lydia, Brian, Mike, John McCarthy, Dan Gufferson, and myself. We look at that application, and then during our next conference call, we vote on it. And if it passes, then we send out those funds. So we updated that. We have our first corporate sponsor, which you'll hear from after I'm done, Empire Tape. I know some of you are over there at the table looking at their products. They've committed to the Retire Fighter Fund 10% of every roll of tape they sell All right, so regardless of, whoever buys it, it doesn't make a difference. They're going to give us 10% towards a retired fighter fund, and that's awesome. We're working with, We're currently working with a gentleman called Cage Ticks. I don't know if some of you have used Cage Ticks. We're negotiating something with him right now, same thing, where he will give a portion of the service fee to the Retired Fighters Fund. So we're really looking to generate different streams of income from different sources. Obviously tonight, as a body, we do casino night, which is great because we get to network, have fun, have some laughs, have a good time. We raised $6,500 last year. It was one of the biggest nights that we had during conventions for the fund. So we're asking you tonight, same thing, 7 to 10. We'll have some flyers out on the tables to give you a little bit more information on that. I've worked very closely with Arizona here. They were very gracious working with me, making sure we set this up, and we were above board on everything as far as the laws and regulations here in Arizona. They were awesome. So look forward to working with them tonight. Any questions from the body about the fund, about what we're doing? Anything I can add, suggestions? The only other thing I ask from everyone at this point is at this point, networking is going to be really important. 6 degrees of separation. Someone knows someone that knows someone. And that's worked for us so far. But every single one of you in this room could have a network person that could maybe help in some way. I'm working with Massachusetts right now, and I'm actually looking to draft something in New Hampshire. Every single state charges a percentage that goes to the state. Massachusetts right now has over $300,000 in a fund for a combat sports pension. A lot of that money is sitting there and it's not getting to the people it needs to get to. Some of you in your states, you might have the same thing. I'm going to be working on something where it would be great, call me crazy, I am crazy, that it would be great if the ABC in some capacity could be a janitor of some of those funds from different states. I know we're getting into a whole different league here when you're dealing with states and their money. They don't want to part with it. I get it. And I also get that that money is for people that fight in that state. But I'm working with something where we're going to try to possibly set something up in the future, and this is going to probably be a multi-year thing, where another stream of income can be coming into this body from all of the states and all the things that we do. I would love to sit down with any of you that have any suggestions on that. I would also love to sit down with anyone if you have any other ideas as far as what we can do to continue generate money for this fund. I'll be honest, it's moving when you are talking on the phone with someone and all they say to you is, "I can't believe someone cares." I've heard that multiple times. These athletes, they know what they're getting into. They made that choice in the profession they're in. There's no argument about that. There's absolutely no argument. But we all have jobs because of those athletes. These states are not just getting a percentage of these events. There's rooms and meals tax. These fans that come out and pay money, there's a lot of money going to the states because of this sport. And if we can somehow capture even a little bit of that to help out these fighters, they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. I say it last night, I say it all the time, we try to take care of our own. They take care of us doing what they do, and we're able to do what we do because of them. So throughout the next few days, please, if you see me, pull me aside. Any ideas that you have, I'm open to everything. I appreciate everyone that has supported us, going to support us tonight. Thanks to the board, BoxRec, Carrick, those guys, they're really trying to push the logo on their websites. Carrick does all of the, and Chris also do all of the updates, did all of the time and energy. They didn't charge us a dime to make these corrections on the website to make it easier for these fighters to do applications and do donations. I'm gonna hand it over, Frank.
TDC money.
I've never heard of it. What is it?
It's tourist development.
Okay.
When people come into the state, tourists,
Yep.
there's a tax, and the states have a big revenue from that. And there are, excuse me, there's a lot of people to go to these organizations that have big organizations, and they asked for funds from them, and you just have to connect with them.
Let's sit down and talk. I'd love to hear more about it.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Alberto Leon with the WBC. I'm here with President Suleiman, and we spoke a little bit yesterday. As some of you know, the WBC has the Jose Suleiman Boxers Fund, which has been now, we are in our 7th year assisting retired boxers with basic needs, food, medical care, transportation, housing. And I have offered, and we're definitely going to sit down, because I would like to offer our assistance to the ABC in looking at cases, for example, where we can supplement whatever you give, or you identify a boxer and for whatever reason the timing is not right, we would be very happy to bring him into our fund and help him out. So we're here to work with the ABC and help as much as we can.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? I'm going to turn it over to Scotty Rehm. As I said, Empire Tape. He's representing Empire Tape today. They've done a great presentation for us explaining their product and how their product can actually continue to help generate income for the Retired Fighter Fund. I'll bring up Scotty now.
No, you do it, Kev. That way, if it screws up, I can blame you. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Scott Rehm, and I'm a professional cutman. I've worked with at the highest levels of boxing and MMA as well. Kevin McDonald's going to be working this for me, so if there's something from Porky's or something, that's all right. That's what he says. It's absolutely my pleasure to be working with the ABC, the Retired Fighters Fund. I'd like to present to you today with the support of the Retired Fighters Fund, something that is a solution to a nagging problem that always tends to rear its head at the most inopportune moments, and that's glove tape failure. One more palm, Paul. Just keep up. As we all know, in the sport of boxing and MMA, glove tape tends to fail. Right now we're using cloth tape, PVC, or duct tape. These are all being used to wrap gloves, and none of which are designed for this purpose. Just keep, yeah. As you can see, there's failure after failure. When this happens, it's fighter safety. That tape can get in the fighter's eyes, cause abrasions leading to cuts, etc. We've all been there. Referees undo stoppages, creating to an extra rest or a break. A really creative corner can make this happen all by themselves. Right there, that's cloth tape being used. Cloth tape is not water resistant. It's going to just keep failing time and time again. Then they'll wrap PVC or duct tape around that, and that's going to cause a bridge. That's going to cause a line, which is also going to cause a puncture and abrasion. Here he is just wrapping more tape around, causing a larger lump or something else. Or you're going to see, as a cut man, that's the last thing I want to see is anything risen on that glove. That's just going to make my life miserable. All my fighters. The solution, in our opinion, Empire Pro Tape came up with its own glove tape, which eliminates all these concerns. Sure, just let it run. Empire Pro Tape is 100% waterproof, not resistant, waterproof. It has a controlled wind and unwind. It has a soft membrane, so that stiff, rigid line that you see in the PVC or duct tape does not exist. Again, with the cloth tape for the failures. This tape from Empire is specifically made for our sport. Specifically made for our sport. Not made for anything else. It's taken on and off the glove very easily. It doesn't leave a residue on the glove. doesn't damage the glove. And to date, ladies and gentlemen, 0 failures. In over 3,000 bouts, 0 failures. The British Boxing Commission has made it mandatory that Empire be used on all of their amateur and professional bouts, including their world title fights. The amateur international boxing as well, 100% mandatory. Thanks, Kevin. There's also, again, there's also another benefit. The benefit not only extends to the fighters while fighting, meaning that they're safer, without delays, the potential for injuries, etc., but now it extends into the future. Empire Pro Tape has partnered with the Retired Fighters Fund, so now 10% of every roll of glove tape goes directly to the Retired Fighters Fund, creating a continuous revenue stream continuing now and into the future, keeping the fighters safe as possible while they're in the cage or in the ring, and doing whatever can be done for these men and women when they're done fighting. Empire Pro Tape is very happy to contribute to the Retired Fighters Fund and lend a hand in whatever way possible. In closing, we all have to ask ourselves, what are we doing here? No one's really going to get rich off this. This is not why we're here. I had a conversation with John McCarthy yesterday. We were laughing. People see you on television and think you're rich. John says, you want to see one of my checks? And we laughed. And I said, I can show you one from a promoter that bounced. You know, we've all been there. So why are you here? We're here for the love of the sport. We all have a passion for it. That's why we're here. So if we love it, we all here, the ABC, the commissions, you work to improve it. You work to keep the fighters safe. We all use red and blue tape. This is the safest tape on the market. It's had 0% failure. It's designed specifically for this purpose. We're contributing 10%, significant amount for the Retired Fighters Fund, an incredibly worthy purpose. So why not use the safest stuff? Why not use the stuff that's going in the right direction to keep improving the sport, to try to keep improving these relationships? This is our commitment. I'm a retired fighter. I'm a cut man. This is what we do. We're standing behind the fighters. We're standing behind the ABC. We're standing behind the commissions. We are offering samples. If you don't like it, don't use it, but I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. It's very, very easy to turn a blind eye. Oh, I don't care for it. We're offering it to you. Take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, you're here because you love what you were doing. I don't think anybody's going to get rich off a state job. Thank you for your time. Please enjoy the samples. Okay? Thank you.
I just want to be clear on something as well. When you grab the samples, you'll notice that we put the Retired Fighter logo on that. We're an impartial body, all right? And we always need to make sure that we stay impartial and that we don't have outside influences from corporations and from promotions influencing decisions we make. In no way is the ABC saying to promotions or anyone else that you have to use this tape. All we're saying is they are willing to do this for us if they do decide to use the product. So I just want to make sure we're clear on that as a body, we are not requiring anyone to buy this tape. We're just, here's another option. So thank you very much. I really look forward to having a great time with everyone tonight at 7 o'clock. Thank you.